The American West was won by railroads, right? Wrong. It was won by $4 worth of twisted wire per mile. Before 1870, the American West was open range. Cattle roamed from Texas to Montana. There was nothing to stop them because there was nothing to fence them with. Wood was scarce on the plains, a fence post cost more than an acre of land in some places. Stone walls were impossible. Hedges took years to grow. The open range worked for ranchers. They drove cattle north on trails, let them graze freely, and rounded them up at branding time. But as more settlers moved west, farmers, homesteaders, the open range became a war zone. Cattle trampled crops. Farmers shot cattle. Ranchers threatened farmers. The range wars were literal. In 1873, at the DeKalb County Fair in Illinois, 3 men independently showed barbed wire prototypes. Henry Rose had a simple wire with a wooden block with nails attached. It was crude, but it was the first barbed wire ever displayed. 2 men in the audience, Isaac Ellwood and Joseph Glidden, saw it and immediately started improving it. Joseph Glidden was a farmer, not an engineer. He took Rose's idea and made it practical, 2 strands of wire twisted together, with short barbs clipped between them and held in place by the twist. Simple. Cheap. Impossible for cattle to push through without getting cut. Glidden patented his design in 1874 and called it the winner. He partnered with Isaac Ellwood, and they started the Barb Fence Company. Barbed wire cost about $4 per mile. A wooden fence cost over $200 per mile. The economics were absurd. You could fence 10,000 acres of prairie for less than the cost of a small house. The effect was immediate and massive. Within a decade, the open range was enclosed. Ranchers who had driven cattle across hundreds of miles of open grassland suddenly found fences blocking every trail. The range wars escalated. Fence cutters went out at night and sliced the wire. Ranchers hired armed guards. In some counties, more people died in fence-cutting wars than in bank robberies. But the wire won. It always won. It was too cheap, too easy, too effective. By 1885, the open range was functionally over. The West was fenced. Barbed wire didn't just enclose the American West. It enclosed the 20th century. It wrapped battlefields in World War I. It surrounded concentration camps. It drew the Iron Curtain. It lines borders on every continent. The Devil's Rope, they called it. The wire that won the West also became the wire that contained prisoners, divided nations, and turned landscapes into prisons. The same invention that let a farmer protect his crop became the invention that trapped people behind lines they couldn't cross. Joseph Glidden lived to see his invention circle the globe. He donated money to his town, built a school, funded a church. He considered himself a man who'd solved a problem. And he had. But the problem he solved, how to keep things out, was the same mechanism that keeps things in. Every fence has 2 directions. Every wall divides twice. The West wasn't won by the railroad. It was won by $4 worth of twisted wire per mile. And the same wire that enclosed the prairie enclosed the century that followed. Every fence protects. Every fence traps. The wire doesn't care which side you're on.
Every fence protects. Every fence traps. The wire doesn't care which side you're on.